Everybody, I got a very different video for you guys today. Normally, lately, we've been doing Reddit videos, or I've been doing reactions to a bit more of a fun content. I say fun because it's the first couple minutes. I don't want to say anything too crazy. But I've normally done different kinds of reactions before. And normally, they can either be very passive or positive, depending on how they go. I know that reactions mostly have me giving some kind of insight or opinion on the matter. This is a very different video. I know that at the time I recorded it, I was getting very infuriated, so I apologize if some things just don't make sense, if my cohesion doesn't really quite make sense. I will 100% give the context that going into this, I had an opinion, and as the video progressed, I was more and more focused on how I got to my opinion. So there is some bias, I will admit. I apologize. I try my best to be neutral, but this was such a heated topic, it had me somewhat irritated. And because I haven't given you guys any context yet, this has to do with the Marvel Rivals tournament, specifically with Kingsman and Cece. So whatever your opinion, that is your opinion. This video was my opinion on how everything unfolded. Unfortunately, I will go in this right now saying I am not a Rivals player, so I don't know any of the lingo. I don't know the stats. I don't know characters. I know nothing. I've played Marvel Rivals maybe twice, and that was only for like maybe an hour or two. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I apologize if some parts of this get a bit ranty. I really did try to watch this video. It was a 16-minute video with a lot of ads. So I was irritated. I apologize. I hope everyone that is involved in this story is okay, and that I want the best for the people that were negatively affected initially, because it seems like they're doing great now. Obviously, damage control has to be done and other people need to take accountability, but that's only going to be time to tell. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know anything other than what's being released, and this is honestly my opinion on the whole situation. So if you guys enjoy, I apologize if I got ranty. I apologize if it's a bit too negative for my usual videos. I hope you're all safe and well, and I will see you guys later. Bye. So I guess like the only way to do this reaction is to get straight into it. So the only things I know about this whole situation is there was a tournament. It was a Marvel's Rivals tournament that had about 40K on the line. Now, I understand that some people can be a little bit competitive when it comes to games, and in a very casual, like, hey, I'm hopping on Call of Duty, let me just do quick play, I'm gonna get competitive as fuck. That's like, okay, tone it down, because this is a casual game. You just hopped on, you're going to play lobby after lobby after lobby, it's fine. But in the realm of a competition, a tournament of any kind whatsoever, where there is a prize, whether it be small or big, it can mean a lot to someone. Now, if it's a small prize, it might just be like a moment of accomplishment for them. But if it's a huge prize, such as what I've heard, it could have paid off someone's student debt, that's not laughing money. That is money that can change your situation that you're currently in. That is the argument that I believe she's trying to defend, that she was only playing the tournament for vibes. And the only thing I can say is it's a fucking tournament. Yeah, I want to play and have fun with my friends too, but if it's a tournament, it's like, I love my friends, but I think I'm going to go with the chance to win. Because while I would like to play for fun, with the tournament prize of $4,000, it's like, I could really use that money. Anyone could use that money. Even if you're, fuck, let me think, Wildcat. I'm sure if you were a Wildcat, granted, a bigger YouTuber like that would use it for other things, such as maybe a charity or, maybe more of a noble reason. I get that. But it's 40,000, Jesus. What could I do with $40,000? But in Cece's case, she didn't seem to care. It was just for fun. There was no point in winning the money. It was just all for the vibes, guys. Just vibes. And 100% in my streams, when I even get close to raging, when I win, when I lose whatever game, especially the 1v1 that I had in Rim's tournament recently, it's just the vibes. Just vibes, guys. Don't worry. It's just vibes. We're chilling. We're fine. That's get ready to hear that all the time. But anyways, this is her apology video. No, it's the truth behind it, which there's no defense you have. But I've seen people trying to react to it. I've kind of stepped away from it. I will go and play her video, but I disagree with whatever she's going to say. I think the fact that you lost sponsorships already, and so many from the looks of it, means maybe you might want to take things more seriously in the future. But I'll save everything till the end because I don't have the full story, just whatever's been circulating on the internet. So let's get to this.
I'm making this video in response to Kingsman's video and also to all the chatters that are going to come in and ask questions again. I'm just going to direct you to this, and it's the last time I'm going to speak about it. I'll be addressing any allegations or anything that's not true, as well as I included a clip that Kingsman left out in his conversation with Entei, because Kingsman thought it was like rage bait or something, but Entei took the words right out of my mouth. Like, I could not have phrased it better, and if you take it from a third-party perspective, you might be able to digest it a little better. I want to start off by saying that I did not get kicked from the tournament. I was banned on Twitch for violating TOS, saying something toxic to my friend in chat. I've said it before, but this time it was around a bunch of haters, so maybe it got spam reported, but it was just for 24 hours. The issue is I can't play in the tournament while banned because if I get streamed and I show up in people's streams, it counts as ban evasion. And I don't want to risk other people getting penalized for it. But it has nothing to do with Bassam or the tournament. The problem wasn't what he said. He didn't get kicked because he wanted his teammate to swap.
Hold on. I'm gonna fact check this right now actually, because I don't think that's not why she can't play. Well, I'm sure that's the reason why she can't play, but I'm sure there's a reason other than her talking trash on a game. So I'm gonna look up. Fuck off. Sorry, my charger's dropped right now. Let's see. I don't know it was that, but it was more for cyberbullying, not because she was talking trash. It was because she was cyberbullying someone during the tournament, which I'm assuming in this case is Kingsman. So that is the reason why she got banned. It isn't because she was being toxic. It is because I'm sure whatever she said is way worse. And I haven't seen Kingsman video. I don't know if I'm going to react to it just because it's a very long one. But regardless, the internet's siding with Kingsman on this. Like, he had a very valid crash out over the entire thing because you can't be in a tournament and not listen to criticism when it's like, hey, we need you to play this. No. Okay, play it. We'll play your way for one game, and if it doesn't work, switch over. And from my understanding, that round didn't work out. So then when he urged you to, I don't think it was Cece, but whoever Kingsman had urged to switch characters, and AX was going, no. It's like, the tournament. A lot of money on the line. It's a tournament. You're supposed to be with teammates. Supposed to listen to feedback, even if you don't like it. And you don't want to do it. And I'm paraphrasing everything that I know ahead of time. I don't know what the whole context of it is, but regardless, I do know that at the end of the day, she's wrong for how she handled the situation, and she messed up in such a huge way that it's costing her a lot in terms of like her followers and her sponsorships, because having sponsorships is a lot. Even as a small content creator, I can get lucky if I get a sponsorship here or there. She had huge name brands like wanting to sponsor her, and she lost all of it. So, I mean, 40,000 doesn't sound that bad now, does it?
Swap off Widow. It was because of the way he went about it, the tone he took, and the fact that he continued it for over an hour after being asked multiple times to stop. It was making the team uncomfortable. We were all playing worse. We were distracted, and team morale was just decreasing, and it just was not
I was gonna say.
And we weren't the only people uncomfortable. Our own communities were raising concerns, and his chat also told him to chill out. So this wasn't just a snowflake scenario. I think this is what Kingsman is most upset with me about, is the green light.
Oh, switch to turbo. I have to cut this.
But I don't think he realized.
I'm guessing this is what she means by she put 12 ads on here.
From the tournament, no matter what I said. Bassam sent me.
Because I'm gonna leave all this in. I thought about cutting it right now, but I'm gonna leave all the ads in because in screenshots that were posted later, I don't know if she shows them here, but when she confronts Kingsman about how people are responding negatively to her, she said that after losing sponsorship, she had to put 12 ads in a YouTube video. I think this is the video. Hold on. Let me see something. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that as it is. Let me scroll down. No, this one has comments. I heard that she posted a video and the comments were, flagged or whatever. But no, you can still comment on this. So, I don't know if this is the video that she put 12 fucking ads on, but I guess I'll find out.
About is the green light, but I don't think he realizes how little I actually had in the decision. Boston was going to kick Kingsman from the tournament, no matter what I said. Boston sent me a Discord message saying, "Hey, this is an urgent call, are you available?" And I said, "Okay." I muted everything on stream, picked up the phone, and this is what Boston said to me. I've been getting a lot of messages and clips about Kingsman's disrespectful behavior. He was saying disrespectful things about you guys while muted. He was saying disrespectful things about the tournament, and I'm just not going to have that, so I'm going to kick him from the tournament, okay? And then I say, "Okay, is this confidential? Should I say anything?" And he says, "No, I'm going to handle it all." So that was the end of the conversation. The reason why I say green light was because I had the opportunity to advocate for Kingsman more. I could have been like, "No, he's just really passionate. No, he's a really good player." But at the end of the day, it's Bosum's decision. And he decided to kick him from the tournament because of his disrespectful behavior, which I agreed was disrespectful. In hindsight, maybe he should have gotten a warning. But at the end of the day, again, it's just Bosum's decision. A lot of you guys were saying that it wasn't disrespectful, but if you go on for an hour after being told to stop, that's disrespectful. That's how
When you're losing your fucking matches because you refuse to hop off a character that is not working, how is that disrespectful? You can flip the script and say you're being disrespectful to him because he told you why he is like passionate about it. He told you like why he's trying to help and give you guys advice as to who to switch over to because it is a tournament. I think the end goal is to win the tournament. Now, yes, if the game had played out, if you played his strats, it might not have worked. I don't know. I don't play Marvel Rivals. The only thing I can put my 2 cents on this is I've played tournaments and I've known how competitive they can get. I don't like not playing characters that I love playing as, such as when I've participated in the amateur Apex ones. If someone told me to hop off Wraith and play as I can't think of their fucking names right now. Bangalore, I think their name is. I would have done it. Would I have been happy about it? No. And I have done it a few times. But that was because the team needed me to play as a specific legend. I would assume, because Marvel Rivals is similar to Overwatch, that if we're in an Overwatch tournament and someone tells me to hop off Diva and play Winston, sure, I'll do it. Do I know how to play Winston? I vaguely know how to play him. But if that's enough for me to be a tank, then go for it. I don't know the exact terminology. I don't know how characters work with each other versus against each other in Marvel Rivals. When I play as Jeff. But if we're on a team that has no fucking healers and someone says, "Hey Jeff, we need you to get off Jeff and play as Sue," I was like, "Okay, I'll play Sue." I have no idea how to play her, but if I can heal, that's all I'll do. And she keeps saying green light. She says she has the chance to advocate for Kingsman. I don't think she tried at all. Yes, you can take what Kingsman said as disrespectful. Everyone's entitled to their interpretation of things at the end of the day. But even when you look at it, that's going to cost you a slot on your roster because he's part of your team. And instead of trying to fight for a spot on your roster to stay filled, you just went, "No, fuck it, just let him go." I haven't even touched any of the drama that's happening with Bassam. All I know is how he handled it was also wrong, but everyone's focusing on Cece because she's deflecting and defending everything that she did wrong. Like, I get being a team leader in any kind of tournament is really fucking stressful, but at the end of the day, your job as a team leader is to try and think of the betterment for everyone. And even if one person on the team says, "Hey, I have advice as to what to do going forward. Hey, switch off this character," and you just goes like, "No, don't tell her what to do." It's like, if there's advice being thrown, and if your team is losing spectacularly, maybe take the advice and see what does and doesn't work, because I mean, you guys lost. I can't fact check because everything I found is just general information. But from what I remember seeing when someone was looking at stats, is I'm pretty sure their team was the bottom of the scoreboard in the bracket where everyone else was in double digits. I think they were sitting at maybe 9 or 6. I don't remember. But that's how low their score was in the tournament, if I remember correctly. And this is all from people that are recapping the event, recapping how other teams meshed together. And this was the only team that fell apart so quickly because of poor leadership. And I don't know Cece at all, other than what this drama is right now. But already she's just deflecting all responsibility from herself and blaming Kingsman, kind of shifting some blame to Basim, who I don't fucking know who that is, but I'm sure there's a reason for that as well. Because if it's his tournament, then he could have handled it differently. But I mean, can you just not take any accountability for anything that you did? You started off the video by saying that you're answering questions that people keep asking you. You're answering like the allegations and drama. It's like cool, but all you've done so far in the first 2 minutes of this 16-minute video is deflect everything to someone else. Like this is the situation and I let it happen. It was your team. You could have, talked it out and came to a better conclusion. Instead, you just went, oh, if that's what you want, hey, that's fine. You had a chance to discuss the situation with somebody. And instead of doing that, you just went, okay, that's what you want to do? Cool, I'm done. That was it. There's no attempt to try and keep your team together. You just let it fall apart because you didn't like it. And yes, the team might have been uncomfortable, but I would imagine if you're losing a round in a tournament, you're going to be uncomfortable. I think anyone that joined the tournament knew beforehand that there was a prize. I don't think Kingsman was the only one. And if for whatever reason your team had only one person know there was a prize, maybe you shouldn't host a tournament next time. Maybe you shouldn't lead a tournament next time, because that is this just poor judgment all around. I think everyone involved on other teams knew there was a prize that motivated them to do their best, that gave them like the motivation or the insight to be like, okay, I'm getting suggestions. Let me take these suggestions and like shift them a bit as to how they can work. And that's probably how those other teams did better. You just had the worst fucking team from what I've seen, and it shows everywhere from the game, post game, to how everything's been like Fallout wise. You have just let everything fucking crash, and your only response is, "It's not my fault, guys. I was having fun. Not my fault." It is your fucking fault. 100% your fault. And I feel like, yes, maybe I am bashing her way too soon. But at the end of the day, and this will continue to be the argument, it was a tournament. There was a prize. I highly fucking doubt you had no idea there was a cash prize. And maybe your sponsors were covering enough to where that cash prize didn't seem as important to you. But just because it's not important to you doesn't mean it's not important to someone else over here. Jesus, I'm not even that far in the video yet. Holy fuck.
How it is. And you guys are saying, oh, why couldn't Zaza just swap? The issue is that she didn't need to swap. At the start of the conversation, Kingsman asked, if we go against Sammy's team, what do you have for anti-dive, Bucky, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, I can play Widow. And Kingsman responds, that's not anti-dive.
You.
Fucking Christ. This is the video that has 12 ads, isn't it?
Just you. Building your app. On base 44.
Thank you.
That's not multi-anti-dive.
Also, just side note, because of the ads, Cece, fuck you. Okay, honestly, you're bitching about needing money now because you fucked up and lost all your sponsorships. Fuck you. Why do we have to suffer for your fucking bullshit? If this was supposed to be a general announcement, you lose so much traction in between situations because an ad has to play. I understand as a content creator, ad revenue means a lot because it's like a way that we can, accrued some kind of something for income for other projects down the road. But you're losing so much momentum within this explanation that every fucking ad's like, fuck. And then we come back, it's like, what are we talking about? Oh, right. So Cece, fuck you. I hate these ads so much.
And I follow up with, we haven't even played Seamus team yet. We're about to scrim them, but let her try Widow. You've said this multiple times already. Just let her try Widow. And then he proceeds to argue more. And we go on to the next map and you argue more. And then we go on to the next map and argue more. And during this time, I'm telling him to chill. I say, chill, drop the topic, chill. Let her try Widow. That's the whole premise of it. And then we get to the infamous.
So it's a scrim. And again, I don't know Marvel lingo at all. So if there's Marvel Rivals players watching this, which I really doubt because I'm such a small channel, but if they are, hey, what's up? I'm sorry that I'm going to probably sound like a fucking idiot, which I probably am. If someone on the team says, hey, do you have a character that can do this? Because this team over here is very good at diving and we need to anti-dive. Do you have a character? Do you have this one character that everyone should have? And you go, yeah, no, I'm going to play Widow. It's like, you could, that's not an anti-dive character. It's like, okay, but I'm going to play it. It's like, if there's a team that is currently going right now, whether it's a scrimmage or live in the tournament, and they are known for this very specific strat, I would imagine that your team would need to find some counters. Now, yes, the argument can be made, why didn't Kingsman do it? Because I'm assuming in most tournaments, like most games, when you lock into a specific category, whether it be such as, I'm going to use Overwatch, such as assault, tank, or support, the second you lock in, you are locked into those and those only. So you cannot switch over from Diva to Tracer. You need to be locked into whoever is in that category of tanks. So I'm assuming, because again, I don't know, I haven't seen gameplay, and I'm sure if I do react to Kingsman stuff, I'll see and get more context, that in the tournament, Kingsman can only play specific characters, and unfortunately, Dive was not that. But this went on for several rounds. Kingsman had every right to be worried because the closer you guys got to facing these other players, it became increasingly worrisome for him that, hey, we might fucking lose because my team doesn't want to switch and try and strategize. And you don't. You're even arguing right now that this was just something that you guys want to do, that you guys need to do it. It was a scrimmage. It's like, cool, it's a scrim. I get that. But if you don't do well in the scrim, there's no fucking way you're going to do well during the actual game. And that's what it kind of looks like it, because you didn't want to try. How far are we? We're 3 minutes in. Oh my god, this is... I think this has me ranting more than the Luddy... No, I don't think it was Luddy. There was a... Okay, I'm digressing. I'm going to get back to this one. There's another video on my channel that I think I pause a lot to discuss things about. No, I lied. It's not on my channel because I didn't pull the... Fuck. Okay, side note. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. So, tangents. I'm going on too many tangents. We're going to just keep playing this. But this video for sure might be the second video, maybe the first based on how far I get in this video, that has me pausing the most to do commentary.
Game where she's 0-5. I want you guys to understand, she was going to go 0-5 no matter what she played. Why? Because Kingsman was breathing down her neck, in her ear, for the last 30 minutes.
No. Because I've had people breathing in my ear, down my neck for however long. And even when I play a character that I'm good at, such as Wraith in Apex, I can get a pretty decent amount of kills. I think the most kills I got as Wraith in early Apex days was 12. Did I win the game? No, I still lost it for my team, sadly. But I had 12 kills, and that was really fun. If you're 0-5 with one character, I don't think it's Kingsman breathing down her neck that's causing her to lose. I think it's her being stubborn, not wanting to switch off of a character. A character that clearly doesn't work if she's 0-5. Like, can she not take accountability? Can you not like blame her just a little bit? Because going 0-5 was like, okay, 0-1, okay, it happens. 0-2, maybe we need to, 2 could happen. 0-3, it's like, okay, maybe we need to stop joking and actually try. 0-4 is like, okay, now we're really like, we need to fucking try. But 0-5 as a widow, it's like, no, there is no amount of disgusting. There is no amount of breathing down someone's neck. There's no amount of anything that can excuse how fucking poorly she did. And the only thing that you're doing is defending such a poor fucking call in a tournament.
She wasn't focused. She wasn't locked in. She wasn't going to play well no matter what she played. So you guys are like, that was her game. That was her game to show off. That was her chance to prove that it worked. No, it wasn't. Because during that time, Kingsman was still down her ear. We finish that map and we go into the next game and we're still arguing about it. At that point, I have to put my foot down as a captain. And yes, I told him to STFU. But you have to understand, this is after an hour of dragging this conversation on, an hour of me asking him to drop this topic,
0-5, and you tell the guy that's more concerned about, winning a tournament to shut the fuck up. I feel like at that point, it would have been amazing if Kingsman just said Uno reverse to her, because it would have been funny. I would have found it funny, but that's just me. But 0-5, your community said this could have been her game to prove him wrong, but all she did was prove him right. Even if in the end, let's say hypothetically, that with Widow, you guys went 5-0, then Kingsman has no ground to stand on. But every loss you guys have added more proof on Kingsman's behalf that, hey, maybe you should swap off because you're not great with this character. Don't get me wrong. Again, I don't play a whole lot, but when I do play, I play as Jeff. Am I good? Probably not. I've only played a few times, but I love playing as Jeff. If someone told me, hey, because you play Overwatch, because you're good with Mercy as support, maybe play, I don't know what the fucking character difference is, but because they can fly, I'm going to say Valkyrie. Maybe play Valkyrie. And then you can get a better understanding of like what to do. Then I'd be like, okay, I'll try it. And if I do better with Valkyrie than I do with Jeff, it's like, okay, I'll play Valkyrie. Am I going to like it at first? No, but eventually I'll get used to her and then I'll be better at whatever the game situation calls for. Of course, Kingsman's going to keep going on and on about a topic that you continuously push him down on because you want to sit on your fucking high horse from, oh, I'm team captain. What I say goes. Like, you're wrong. The evidence shows in every scrimmage you had where you guys went 0-5 with her. Not every, but when the end result is 0-5 and she's only sticking to one character, it isn't Kingsman that needs to hop off and switch a different character. It isn't, if we're only focusing on Zaza's stat and of 0-5, maybe switch. Maybe hop on Kingsman's bandwagon and go, maybe you should switch Zaza. But instead you're going, why does she have to do it? I feel like there's a whole lot of other things going on in Cece's world that she just didn't want to listen to reason. Because from my understanding, Kingsman was reasonable at first, but the more you push back and say no, when you continuously do worse and worse, it's like, okay, now you have to be aggressive to try and get some kind of leeway. Otherwise, they're not going to listen. And you continuously push back on a matter that had no grounds to stand on because it kept failing. You could have kept supporting Zaza and that's fine. But when you lose 1, it's like, okay, maybe it was a bad round. 2, okay. But then when you lose 5, it's like, okay, we seriously got to switch up because this isn't working. And you're, instead of focusing on the fact that Zaza didn't want to switch off, that you lost because she wanted to play a specific character, you're more looking at Kingsman and be like, it's your fault that she failed because she couldn't focus because you're like yelling. It's like, maybe maybe you could have been a better team leader and delegated specific roles to certain people. Maybe you could have done that, but you didn't. Very curious as to why you didn't.
Hour of just continuous arguing in the team. Yes, I finally told him to STFU. And after that, we won that map with Zaza on Widow. And then finally, the next game, Zaza's able to focus.
I don't know who Kingsman is. I would assume Kingsman is Valkyrie in this situation. Trying to see right now because I don't know how to read any of this stuff. Also, I feel like I'm a fucking idiot because no, they're in the same category apparently. I don't know about Jeff though. I don't know what Kingsman's gamer tag is, but I don't know how any of these counter. I don't know what map they were on. There's a lot of things. Like if you use clips, this would help your argument so much better. But you're only taking end results and screenshots, so it makes it so much harder for me to actually get the whole story. Because I only have screenshots, and that doesn't tell me anything. There's no highlights, there's no clips, there's nothing. You're just posting screenshots and using this as evidence. That's cool. I can pull any screenshot from any competitive match I've done where I've done piss poor and been like, I couldn't concentrate because they were arguing. It's like, cool. Is there proof? Is there video? Is there something other than screenshots? Because that doesn't tell me anything. So yes, well, she did better. I mean, 46, holy shit. Also, I'm realizing this doesn't change it a whole lot from how it's supposed to. So she did second best on the team. Granted, yes, she got MVP, but that was one round. One round. That's your focus because she won one round. You're going to stick with, oh, she can do it. It's like, no. I can have 100 losses in Call of Duty and get one win. That doesn't mean all of a sudden that one win means, hey, my weapon build does work. It's like, no, it hasn't worked for 99. Just because it worked for one doesn't mean it's going to work the next one I play.
And shoot back. Because no one is down her ear anymore. No one is complaining about the Black Widow pick. She plays so well, at one point, Snakehaze swaps off of Venom and goes.
So wait, is that when Kingsman is off of the roster then? Hold on, what is Kingsman's Marvel rival's name? Let me look this up. Sorry, I'm looking this up right now. Same thing. So yeah, Kingsman wasn't on that team. So that was after he got kicked. Okay, let me do this really quick. But see, this is how bad your team is. Like you have 46 and 38. That's cool. We have two 20s and then one barely passing 10. The team has a bit more of a closer gap here. Stats matters. This one doesn't seem that great, but I'm guessing these are deaths and these are assists. I have no idea how to read this, but I'm trying my best. Again, these are scrim games, so I'm sure they don't matter too much in terms of the tournament. But you still want to do your best in a scrim. 56. A lot of stats here. Try my best to read them as best I can. I mean, assists, more assists. She has 10 assists. Even their lowest players had a lot of assists, which does contribute a lot to the team. They might not have the most kills, but they have a lot of assists. There's a very good chance that this 38 is because of assist. Again, I didn't watch. I don't care to watch. I'll watch Kingsman stuff to support him because like he was an unfortunate member of this piss poor captain. But there's a good chance that this this number comes from all of this right here. There's a very good chance because this can easily just be kill steals. Because that is 100% what's happening on this team, which isn't a bad thing. Kill stealing isn't a bad thing, but if your number is affected like this high, when you have, I can believe that this 46 they have just maybe a few kill steals or whatever. This one, after 5 games of losing, has me very, very suspicious that this number is because of these players down here. I don't think she did this on her own. I could be wrong. Again, I haven't seen the tournament. I don't care to watch it, but I really don't feel like this was all her. I think a lot of it came from just coming in and stealing people's kills. Intentional or not, that's just what happens. Especially when, again, because I've played Apex, I've played Overwatch, I played Valorant, I played CSGO. It just happens. You steal people's kills by mistake. But yeah, considering that you were 0 and 5, and this is one where you did really well and got MVP, I'm really gonna lean towards the fact that you just stole people's kills from this bracket right here.
And shoot back. Because no one is down her ear anymore. No one is complaining about the Black Widow pick. She plays so well, at one point, Snakehaze swaps off of Venom and goes Magneto.
Awaken
you,
to a
Cece, I
world of
swear, dude.
wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
And then by the end of the game, she's MVP. I know some of you guys are like, well, we can't look at stats. Like, looking at the scoreboard is bad. But this isn't about Marvel Rivals. It's about human interaction, relationships, and how you interact with each other, how you communicate with each other.
It's a tournament about rivals. It's a tournament. Yes, the communication and how you handle one another, that's important. But this is about Marvel Rivals. It is not about how all of you mesh well together. That is not what this is about. This is a tournament for Marvel Rivals. This is not a tournament of who can be the best friends throughout the game. If that was the case, then this would be a whole different story, but it is not that case.
The first day I met Kingsman was draft day. He told me during a call I joined, and the first thing he did was question whether I was ready for the draft. He was judging who I was picking. And then he questioned Zaza's Black Widow, if she could play something else, start on something else, before the...
Can you like include actual like proof other than just screenshots, other than putting timestamps? I would like to watch and listen at the same time, not go on my own adventure to find this supposed evidence that you're only giving timestamps. Because even this timestamp, how far am I watching? Am I watching like 5 minutes? Am I watching 10 minutes? What am I watching? In fact, what video am I watching? You said in a note to go back and watch the VOD from what, the 13th? Cool. Why? What am I watching a VOD? Am I watching, like, what am I watching with these timestamps, with this, all this evidence that you're trying to supposedly share that you're just not including in the video? Like, this is becoming more of homework than just any kind of explanation or detailing. You're giving very, like, interesting points, but just nothing to show for it. Instead, I have to go and try and defend you by looking on VODs, channels, whatever, to find this proof, which I'm not going to want to do that. I'm here to try and get one side of the story, not dive into one side and just be forced to accept one side of events. The one thing I like is that Kingsman Video is like, no, you know what? No, where is it? Kingsman has an hour and 20 minutes pretty much. That's proof. I'm sure everything's there. This is 15 minutes.
scrims even start. The first day of scrims was super chill. We're not running triple support. Zazen's on Black Widow, and we're playing against Iron Fist, Magic, Penny Parker. We don't do bad. Like,
let's see. There's stats here again. Zaza does 20 and 6. Okay, I don't know who wins those. The only downside defeat. Okay, so even in screenshots, you're showing where you guys lose. Yes, Zaza does have kills on these. Like I'm looking at 2019 defeats. On the victory, 28. Okay. But again, I don't see. I see this Kingsman who plays as Valkyrie. Okay. But even in this proof where you have these two, that doesn't help your case. And again, this is scrims, that's right. But I mean, when you let me see, is this? Okay, so Lucy switches over off of. I'm guessing that's Storm, or not Storm. Why did I say Storm? No, that is her name. Sue Storm. To I don't know who this is, but they hop off and they do better with a new character because they won, and they kept it, and they didn't lose a whole lot. I mean, granted, 10 to 13 is pretty close, but I mean, it's not too bad. Oh, Big Puffer was on the team? Oh, hold on. I heard Big Puffer's point of view from the tournament, and even he was getting pissy. Is this who was getting pissy too? You weren't a problem just for King? Okay, I'm guessing. Let me look this up. Who was Puffer angry about? Oh, hold on. Someone texted me. Oh, that was family. Who did Puffer get upset with? It was a girl that he got upset with. I think it might have either. There's a couple people could have been. It might have been. Might have been Cece or Zaza, but it was definitely one of them he snapped at, I believe. He's not involved in the drama, but I know that recently on his podcast, the Clueless podcast, he did get upset and he talked about it. And I, oh my god, if I played with this fucking girl, I would also be pissed. Cause I think Puffer's biggest argument was she just had to open her fucking mouth or something along those lines. He was way more. I think he's probably been the best rage player I've seen because yeah, when you Big Puffer played on this one too. Yeah. What is your own stat? I'm curious. 16. You're not doing that great. You have one where you win. That's a victory. Got it. With a lot of support again. I feel like I might have to read this whole video because how negative I sound. But no, this is not looking good for you right now. You're also taking 3 games out of how many? If this was the entire day of scrim, I don't think this was enough. If you were scrimming and you wanted to keep playing Widow, you would have done more than this. Because it's not looking good right now.
yes, we didn't win every single one of those maps, but I wasn't concerned about whether we were going to win or not. It was our first day of playing with each other. The second day of playing with each other, the first thing I hear coming out of Kingsman's mouth is, we have to run triple support. Like, that's it. We have to. And I was arguing. I said, not every team is going to walk out on triple support. Anyways, we go on, and then he brings up the point of Simi's team and Black Widow. The only time that we talked to Kingsman was in the start of the scrims and when he was demanding stuff out of us. And that's why I say it's not a Marvel Rivals thing. It's about multiple days where he's just telling us to do something, do something, do something, do something. And that's our only impression of Kingsman, other than the fact that he's good at the video game. From day one, I told.
Isn't King? Hold on. Again, everything I know about this tournament is secondhand. isn't Kingsman like really well known in Marvel Rivals? Let's see. Kingsman is recognized as the top ranked Magic player in Marvel Rivals. So he's not just a player, he is a top ranked player. Let me see. Hold on. So I'm on this note. Let me look at Cece. You don't have any standing. You have nothing to stand on. You're not known for Rivals by the looks of it. Let's look at Zaza. Okay, so they're a high ranked Widow. What? Widowmaker isn't in the. Okay, fuck you, AI. Sorry, this is the quick AI search on Google, just like these quick facts. Oh, she's low on the leaderboard too. If that's the right name. So yeah, even Zaza is not known for anything. The only reason she's known now is because she wanted to stay playing as Widow, and that didn't even work out in her favor. So Kingsman's the only person on this team that has any kind of standing whatsoever in the Marvel Rivals tournament. And you didn't want to listen to him? I mean, I've played Apex with Ruby, and Ruby's really fucking good. If Ruby tells me to hop off of, let's say, Octane to move over to Gibraltar, I was like, guess what? I'll do it. Because I know that at the end of the day, she can actually tell me what to do to be useful to the team versus just like, nah, I want to be a speed demon. That's fun. Nah, I think instead of, giving us support, I think I want to be a speed demon. It doesn't work. If I play with anybody, even if I play with, I'll say, I'll use Marvel Rivals. If I say with Big Puffer, if I ever play a game with him, he tells me, hey, hop off Jeff and hop on a Loki. It's like, okay, I'll do that. Do I know to play any of it? No, but I'm going to fucking listen because they're way more experienced than I am. Okay, I'm thinking more and more how stupid this is. You had one of the top ranked players of Rivals, in this case, a Magic user. He's telling you a very easy, counter to a situation, and you say no? Does that make sense? Someone who is a bigger player than you are told you something, and you go, no, it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work. Oh my god, this isn't just arrogant or ignorant. This is also just you being stupid.
Old Kingsman. Rule number 1, don't tilt my team. And rule number 2, don't bring the vibes down on the team because we're going to lose. A lot of you guys are underestimating how important vibes are in a team scenario. At the highest level of competitive esports, tier 1 esports, you will get booted from a team simply because your team doesn't like you. Even if you're performing, even if you're doing well, if the team synergy isn't there, you're not coming back for another season. This plays a part in why I didn't advocate for Kingsman when Bossum said he was going to kick him. Kingsman already showed that he wasn't going to listen to the rules I set on day 1, and so when Bossum said he was going to kick him for being disrespectful, I had no argument. A lot of you guys were asking why I even drafted Kingsman in the first place if I didn't want to be competitive. I wanted to be competitive. Like, I wanted to win.
No, you fucking didn't. You just said it was about the vibes first. You had days of scrimmages to figure this out before anything happened. So it's not about being competitive. Because if it was about being competitive, you would have looked at every loss and went, okay, hold on. We need to shuffle the deck a bit. We need to give everyone a winning hand. But you didn't give a shit. I'm a casual player for most games. I played competitively for some things, such as back in the day when there were amateur Apex games. I hate to admit it, but Fortnite tournaments and then even some Call of Duty tournaments, I still did my best to fucking win. I just played recently in Rim's tournament, and even though I lost, I still did my best. It was more for me having fun. Yes, there was a prize involved, but I was more interested in just like, getting to know people, having fun, playing games, just relaxing. I did make jokes about, I'm here for the vibes, but if I had won, cool, but I didn't. I had set a low goal for myself in that tournament and said I only want to get to bracket 2. I didn't get there, but I wasn't pissy. I did practice, I did try, I did a lot of games before we even went live, and I still lost. And guess what? That's because Autumn was better than I was. Am I gonna be upset? No. What I did didn't work, what I played didn't work, how I played didn't work, and that's on me. But you're part of a team. When you're part of a team, you need to look at the entire story and go, okay, we're not working because this person over here is playing this, they're playing this, they're playing this. We need these heroes in our roster. And if we don't have them, we're going to keep losing. And instead, you just heard everyone say, or you heard Zaza say she wants to play Widow, and you only stuck with that. You didn't listen to anything. You were not there to be competitive. You didn't want to be competitive. If you did, then you would have paid attention to the scrims, but you didn't. You let everything play out as it did because you just did not care. For whatever reason, I'm going to guess your sponsorships at the time paid you more than what the tournament was worth. So if that was the case, I understand it. I don't think you should have been a team captain if your goal was not to win, though. I think everyone's goal in the tournament was to win to some degree, but you favored vibes, I guess, over winning for whatever fucking reason.
I, out of all the captains, think I spent the most time looking up graders and deciding who I want in my comp. I knew a little about Kingsman before. I knew he was a good DPS player. In the clip, I said I was going off the spreadsheet and I didn't really know him, and it was because people in the chat glazed him. That was clip farm. I said people were glazing Kingsman because I thought it would be a sweet thing. It's nice to have viewers glazing you in other communities' chat. It's nice to think that your community really fucks with you. But at the end of the day, it was mostly the spreadsheet. On paper, it says that Kingsman is...
Okay, hold on. Okay. So I'm guessing this is like his what is it called? It's not a resume. It's I'll call it a player card. There's a certain name for it. I don't remember what it is. But when you do a tournament, you give a list of, hey, this is what I'm good at, this is who I am. I've been 1 above all top 10 every season, rank 1 a couple times. Rank 1 Magic, Bucky, Storm, Punisher, Strange, etc. I love competition. So this is who he is. I don't know Kingsman. I have never seen any of his content. I haven't even seen like the issues that have happened recently. I've only heard everything that happened with Cece. But I mean, it says I love competition in a tournament, which is going to be a competition. Top 3, Strange, Magneto, Frost. Magic, Winter Soldier, Daredevil. Rocket, I'm going to keep calling her Sue Storm. And Gambit. I don't know what this IGL means. I want to say it means I guess lose. But hold on. Let me see what IGL means. I will try to in-game leader and make sure we win. I mean, he told you what he's going to do right off the bat. Yes, there might be a captain, but if someone has a strategy, they'll try and share it, which he tried to do. So you knew what he was about before he even joined the team. You said yes to this. There's nothing here that says anything shady. He laid everything out, who he is, what he is good at. He gave you the characters he is good at. And he says, I will try to in-game lead and make sure we can win. He says, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it can be toxic, but he says it right off the bat, in-game lead. And you went, no. Man, now I'm really starting to be more on Kingsman's side than I was before. I mean, I already was on his side, but I'm getting further into that side than I was before, which is just, yeah.
One above all, and he plays Magic, Bucky, Storm, Punisher, Doctor Strange, and that he loves competition. He also says that he will try to ally GL and make sure we win.
Great news! Now your
I
account
hate these
has a
ads so
level,
much.
and you get free daily cases for it every.
All great things. Nowhere does it say in the sheet that he loves competition so much, he will criticize my teammate for over an hour to swap.
That's what IGL stands for, in-game lead. That's literally what it's, oh my god.
The only way I could have known that he was going to micromanage the team was if I asked other creators opinions of him. But I would have had to do that for everyone in this tournament, and I just don't have the time. But when I met him, I told my chat, I was like, I fuck with that. Like, I fuck with someone that's competitive. That's fine. I'll make do with it. Like, we can work this out. When everyone signed up for the tournament, no one knew it was going to have a prize pool. No one knew it was going to have $40,000. All it said was Creator Cup.
So, no one in the entire team knew that there was $40,000 on the line. No one other than Kingsman on your team knew there was 40 grand on the line. Now, hey, this happens. Not everyone's informed. I'll use Rim. Shout out to Rim, by the way. Lovely content creator. Amazing COD player. Really fucking good. But when I played with Rim, when I joined her tournament, I didn't know there was a prize. I didn't read the rules. But when I went back to the day of the tournament and I was getting ready to join the VC and everything, I read a bit more and I was like, oh, there's a prize. Cool. I didn't know that, but hey, I'm here for fun regardless. That was why I joined. I highly doubt that your team was the only team that didn't know there was a prize. Because if it says tournament and you're just signing up randomly, okay. I mean, I did it, but I'm also not a huge content creator. I feel like at some point you knew there was a prize. You just forgot or something? Because I doubt nobody knew there was a prize except Kingsman. That makes no sense.
Wanted to surprise us. So every single person that agreed to play in the tournament knew that it was a creator-focused tournament and that there was going to be over 50% of the players were going to be win tricks. That's what everyone should have been prepared for. When I call Kingsman a meta slave, I know he plays Magic, and I know Magic isn't meta. The reason why I called him a meta slave was because the first conversation we ever even had was that he wanted the triple support. Then the second day of scrims, his first conversation with me was that he wants us to run triple support. And then the conversation came to Peel. He wanted the perfect counter to Hulk, Venom, Spider-Man with Bucky. And he was very adamant about that. He didn't want to even try playing Black Widow or anything else. He just wanted the Bucky. And that's why I called him a meta slave, because we were arguing for multiple maps about the same thing about meta. He wants to play meta because he thinks the only way that we can win is meta. That's why I called.
So you mean strategizing? You mean knowing what characters work with who and how they can counter specific characters? That's called meta? I mean, I play Valorant. I'm not good at it, but I play it. I like to main Reyna. If I don't play Reyna, I'll play as Viper or I'll play as Sage. If I run across, I'm trying really hard to think about other agents' names because I don't remember. If I run into a gridlock, I don't think Sage is the person to play as. I think either Viper to kind of pin gridlock to somewhere or Reyna to track him down. Those are characters that can counter it. Now, of course, the difference is in Valorant, I don't know what the enemy roster has until we start loading in. But you have to try and think of what agents are currently being used a lot, and how can we counter them as a team when it comes to, playing a game of any kind. In a tournament, you really want to think ahead of like what hero can counter Jeff, what hero can counter Hulk, what hero can counter Thor. You really want to think about that. So is it meta? I guess it is in today's world, but it's strategizing. He is strategizing because he's played for so long. He's a top magic user, which implies, hey, I've played a lot. I've seen how some strats go. I think we can counter them if we play this strat. And you're insulting him? Why?
I'm a slave to that meta. And you guys like to talk about compromise, like why didn't Zaza compromise? And Kingsman himself said that he would play Mantis. I know he only said that out of spite because we were in an argument and it's just like, here, take it. Like, it was a give me. I don't want him to do something he doesn't want to do. The same reason why I want Zaza to just play Black Widow, because I don't want to force her to do something she doesn't want to do.
It's a tournament and you're a team captain. Your job as a team captain is to delegate and assign roles to people. If you don't want that responsibility, you should not be a team captain. Kingsman did offer compromise. He offered to play someone else. I don't know what Mantis can do, but he offered and you said no. What did Widowmaker, fuck, you guys got me saying that too. What did Widow bring to the team? Yes, she won one round. But what did Widow bring to the team? What did she do? I'm trying to think of it in sense of like Overwatch, because Widowmaker in Overwatch has really poor health but really high damage output because of the sniper. But just because like Widowmaker can be good in someone's capable hands, I don't play her because I can't play as her, even though I like her character, and win. So I often switch to tanks or to support because I can't do any of the assault classes. You didn't want her to switch off Widow because you didn't want her to be uncomfortable, I guess? I think the team losing was uncomfortable enough. I think you having such like a relaxed way of team captaining was stressful enough. I think you not listening to a top ranked player was stressful enough. How far am I in the video? I'm okay, cool. I'm just over halfway, so I made it this far. I can make it to the end. But fuck, dude. I don't. Okay.
Kingsman called her a hit scan flex, but the reality is she is a Widow OTP that can play Punisher and Hela Phoenix. Another analogy is if someone says, I main Emma Frost, but I can play a Rocket or Luna Snow, that doesn't make them a strategist main. It's the same thing. Just because she can play 3 characters out of the whole pool doesn't make her a hit scan flex. Like,
Where am I? I'm at 9 minutes. Okay, hold on. Let me see this. If he's putting these in, I'm going to take him at his word that he's great with these 3 characters in Vanguard. He's great with these 3 in Duelist and great with these 3 in Strategist. Yes, he might only be good with being as a Duelist main, but there's still the option of, hey, I can run Vanguard, I can run Strategist, these are the characters I'm good with, that's what I can do for the team. Yes, he is known for magic. That's totally cool. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's only limited to this one character. This means that any of these other characters he's good with don't matter. They matter. They do matter. But you're going to keep thinking what you want, and that's fine. You're wrong at the end of the day because I'm looking at the proof. You're showing me proof. None of it helps your claim whatsoever.
out of the whole pool doesn't make her a hit scan flex. Like, she has told Kingsman that she is an OTP. She's not a hit scan flex. Not once did the words hit scan flex ever come out of her mouth. She told Kingsman that she's an OTP. She never promised Hella Phoenix, like none of that. She never promised. She said she could do it. It wasn't promised. And at the end of the day, you can be like, oh, why wouldn't she? Like, she spent an hour not swapping. Why is she not kicked from the tournament? Because that's.
Well, there's rules. This is a creator event. Bring the energy, bring the skills, and most importantly, bring respect. Okay. Tournament rules must be following at all times. They're going to comply with the result in warning or removal. So they didn't even warn him. They just kicked him. Failure to comply may result in warnings. Additional guidelines. Trash talk allowed, but do not make it personal or excessive. Why wasn't Cece banned? Personal attacks or harassment, instant removal from the event. I don't think anything that Kingsman said was personal or harassment. I think it was him trying to discuss what the team needed to do to win. And you said no every time. So of course he was going to get more and more agitated. Players must use their own accounts and should be playing. Okay, where's the rule saying that you can't play? You have to swap off at some point. I believe the rule's there, but you're not showing it. You're just showing a snippet of the entire rules. Is there more? Is there way more than this small bit of rules? Because if there is, you need to show it. You're only picking and choosing evidence that supports whatever you're going to go on about.
Not against the rules. You choosing not to swap from one character isn't going to break any rules. But if you berate someone for an hour.
I think the rule of switching characters is more of a community guideline. Because I can play, again, I'll use Overwatch. I can play Diva for 10 games in a row. I'm going to bet that someone else wants to play Diva. And I'm also going to bet that at some point I'm going to get bored after 5 games playing as Diva. So switching does have some grounds in any kind of context when it comes to a game. The fact that you don't want to switch means you're stubborn enough that you want to try and prove someone wrong and fail every single time just to get one win. The second you get one win, you can go, all right, see, this does work. It's like it worked one time. One time does not excuse the other losses you had as that character. One time is just proof that you can do it, but it does not show that you can do it consistently.
That breaks the rules. It's not allowed. That's why Kingsman was booted out and not Zaza or anyone else.
Fuck off, dude. I hate all these ads. She really did put 12 ads on a video.
I did read out the chat, because when I'm looking to my right, I'm reading chat that called him a loser. And then I repeated it. I shouldn't have read out that chat because it was disrespectful. That's very hypocritical of me to say that about Kingsman and then say that aloud. That's on me. But I will double down and say.
So you then turned around and personally attacked Kingsman, whether it be because it is your own opinion, and you stayed in the tournament. Well, meanwhile, Kingsman got kicked out. I'm thinking right now. Why? How does? Okay. What reason was there to keep you in the tournament? Because you were a captain? I don't think so. Because I think if Kingsman was a captain, he still would have been kicked out because of whatever you're saying. I think if Kingsman was the captain, no one would have listened to him regardless. So there was no respect anyways. The only reason you think you had respect is because you let your team do whatever and you didn't really care to try. So yes, you did get banned on Twitch. That's fine because you were harassing Kingsman. But you broke the tournament's rules and nothing happened? Really? Yeah, it's fucking poor management on the tournament side then. Because I don't think this wasn't a huge thing. This was just a creators thing. I can't think of anything to even justify this. You broke the rules, yet you were still in the tournament. Okay. I like to see when rules are bent because it shows just who really matters in this game. I feel bad for Kingsman. I don't feel bad that your team lost. I think they fucking deserved it. And I feel that I feel bad saying that because there are other people that were affected, but you and Zaza did not deserve to win, and I'm glad you didn't win. Kingsman, I feel fucking terrible for because it was a very difficult situation to be in, and he should not have been in it. But you as a team captain should not have instigated it. You made it worse. And by the sounds of it, even in your own defense over here, every time you seem to discuss this out with Kingsman, you did make it worse because you instigated and added fuel to a fire that just needed to be put out. And it could have been put out if Zaza just switched off Widow. But you didn't want to do that because I don't fucking know what the reason is anymore.
Replace the term loser with being disrespectful, with asshole or rude. And that's my point. I don't think Kingsman's a loser. I think he's a good player who just wants to win. I think I said that because Kingsman was being a loser.
Can't say I don't think he's a loser and then followed up by saying he was being a loser. No, he was being disrespectful. Okay, you can say that. He was too competitive. You could say that. He could say anything, but loser means loser. There is no way. You might have a different context for it in your head, but just because your context is this does not mean everyone else's context is the same. And you're going to defend this argument that he was being a loser. I don't think he was. I think he was frustrated because his team did not care to listen to any advice and just wanted to, out of spite, play away to specifically antagonize him. That is what this entire story is like boiling down to. Is it now sounds like you guys did things to specifically antagonize and target him in a tournament where, yes, you can be friendly, you can have vibes, but you should also be competitive and try to win. Nowhere in this story are you telling me that you were going to be competitive. No, that you were competitive. You said that you were going to be, but for whatever reason, you just weren't. You were not competitive in a very serious tournament that had a huge, for many of us, huge cash prize. And you're doubling down on a term that got you banned on Twitch and calling him a loser still. And I know you're going to tell me why right now, but you're still beating this point in when you literally got banned for this reason. Oh my God.
You just criticized and demoralized my teammate for an hour, repeatedly ignoring our mentions to stop. Like, that's loser behavior. You're being a loser for that. And I'm going to say it again. If you make someone sad for an hour, despite people telling you to stop, that's being a loser. And none of you
Oh, what's this? I gotta hear
guys
this.
in the chats could even you guys were trying to justify that. There's no
Because it was a fucking tournament. Of course your chat's gonna defend Kingsman because it is a tournament. Oh my God. And you're even popping off on chat saying that they're at fault too because they didn't defend. They agreed with him. It's like, really? So you have one of the top Magic players telling you, hey, play the strat. You go, no, we're not going to do that. You have your chat telling you, hey, you should really listen to him. You go, no, I'm not going to do that. You guys, oh my God, every fucking point just makes this worse and worse. Oh my God, I don't want to be negative, but I do want to say I am glad you lost your sponsorships because you being negative in this context does not look good for any brand. Oh my God. I'm actually curious how big you were beforehand because I had never heard of you until recently. And I'm looking at your subscribers, I'm looking at your followers. I have no clue how affected you are by any of this. I hope I hope I don't want to say that because that might be too far in terms of TOS. I hope you learn a lesson from this. I hope you feel somewhat remorseful for anything that you said or did. I hope that your chat has some sense or reason right now, because you're literally going off on them right now. For anyone that didn't follow whatever you were saying, you went off on the people, you're going off on the people that sided with Kingsman on your stream. This was in your chat, and they told you guys should listen to them, and you are upset they didn't defend them agreeing that you should just let Zaza play whoever in a tournament.
No justification for being an asshole. That's just what that was. So it wasn't a personal attack on Kingsman. If Kingsman brought it up to Bass and be like, yo, this was a personal attack on me, I would have argued. I was like, no, that's not a personal attack.
That is a personal attack. You're calling him a loser. You're calling him. You're not commenting on how his actions make him a loser. You were specifically saying he is a loser. That is a personal attack. And he should have said something, but because Bassam already kicked him out, Bassam already made it like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like Kingsman. There was no argument that even if Kingsman had said this, it wasn't going in his favor. Because guess what? I don't think Boston would have done it. You broke the rules of the tournament by making personal attacks. And you're saying, no, I didn't do that. It's like, you did. You just did it a second ago in this recounting of events. You did it on Twitch, which got you banned. Yet you were still in the tournament for however long your team was still in? Really?
That's just facts. That's what he was. He was being a loser because he wouldn't let the topic drop. As team captain, I do have a responsibility to cater to all the needs of my teammates, which is why I'm taking accountability for the fact that I could have handled it way better. I didn't have to snap at him. I shouldn't have told him to shut up. I shouldn't have told him to shut the F up. I wanted Kings.
File your taxes
Oh my God.
100% free in the app.
This is what happens when you lose your sponsorships. You need to put 12 ads in a video.
Kingsman to voice his concerns and his wants and things with the team. But once it got to a disruptive point, I should have just told him, all right, you know what? Like, for this game, let's let Zaza just try Widow. And if it doesn't really work, then we can, and you're really adamant about it, let's just let her, like, we can try Bucky or another character. And I agree, my communication was bad because of that. And then also,
wasn't that the first scrim you guys had where he did suggest it and you guys said no? And then it failed, and then he did say maybe you should move to Bucky, and you guys still said no? Again, everything I have is secondhand from the tournament or from facts that are going on right now. But didn't he already make that claim? Didn't he already make like that suggestion? And now you're saying that if he had done it, we could have done it. It's like, no, you didn't. He had every chance, every moment, and every time you said no, it just antagonized him more to where it blew up how it did. In a tournament. And that is the defense that I'm going to give Kingsman, because it is a tournament with a huge cash prize, which could have meant a lot for anyone. Even $4,000 split 6 ways. Unless everyone gets 6,000 or 4,000, that's a lot of money still. But let me take a look at this. Let me do math. I'm not that great at it. No, I said 4,000. 40,000 divided by 6. Everyone walks away with a little over 6.5K. That's a lot of money. Fuck, if I got 6.5K for playing a tournament, I'd fucking be ecstatic. This was Kingsman's motivation to try and win. And you just didn't care. No one cared to win. You said it earlier in this video that you didn't know there was a prize until the day of. It's like, cool. Even then, knowing there was a prize, you just didn't care to try? Like, seriously?
In hindsight, maybe a warning would have been better and not a full kick. But at the end of the day, that's Bassam's decision because it's his tourney. He invited Kingsman to play, and he can easily take him out if he wants to. I also want to say, in Bassam's defense, Bassam has a list of so many creators ready to sub in. So saying, oh, it's kind of weird how Moxie was able to sub in within 5 minutes. No, he was just ready. He just has a list. The same way that I got replaced because I couldn't play in the tournament on Sunday within the hour. So don't disrespect Boston like that. That's crazy. And to address the whole bullying a kid thing, I don't really consider you a kid at 20. I did call.
Hold on. Because again, I don't know any of these people, so now I gotta look this up. I mean, I'm 26. You're 22, and he's 20. I mean, I got lucky enough in my state where I didn't really need to worry about taking out a loan for college. I don't know what King's been studying. I don't know if he still is studying. I don't know what he did. But I know that the reason for him wanting to win was to pay off student loans. Your reason doesn't even sound like it was money for whatever reason, because you joined it for the vibes. Joined it for the vibes, guys. You calling him a kid, he might still consider himself a kid, because 20 is just out of 19. I remember turning 20 and I didn't fucking think I was an adult yet. I still don't think I'm an adult because of some of the stupid things I do. You have been past your teen years for about 3 years. So you have already like adjusted. Kingsman probably still is adjusting. No disrespect, Kingsman. I'm sorry. I promise I don't think less of you in any way whatsoever. Just give me a second. So Kingsman may consider himself to still be a kid in college, which is expensive already. A tournament could have helped out a lot. You're 2 years older. Yes, and you're going to go into more detail of why you called him a kid. That could have been playful banter, and that's fine. But while there is only a 2-year difference, I'm 26. Anyone in the year of 20, to me, is an adult. But when I was 21 and I was talking to other creators who were 18, 19, whatever, it was like, oh, you're still a kid, huh? And it was just like, what do you mean by that? It's like, I mean, you're still younger than 20. Before anyone asked Ghost, why are you talking to them? It's because like they were also starting out as VTubers just around the time I joined. I didn't find out till afterwards. The consensus, the average age was 19. And I was about 20, 21. It wasn't too far off. But it was just like, man, they're still kids. I'm an adult now. It's fucking weird. That's the kind of context of that conversation. So I can understand why Kingsman still called himself a kid, because he just left the teens. He's now just 20. And I feel like I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I just like, you can let him consider himself still a kid. He's in college, still being like adjusting to being an adult. It's a lot to process when you finish high school. Because I finished at 17 because I have a weird birth year. Most people around my age were 18. So there's only like a 2-year difference between the average, like when you graduate high school to when you're more like fully like realized adult at 20. It's a lot to process. And I'm sure that this prize of like say 6.5K, if it was to be split, would have meant a lot to someone in college. I'm sure it would have taken a huge chunk of student loans out. It matters to people, especially when you're just coming into your own. It's rough, especially in like today's like terms of economy, everything. It's rough. And you can't fault anyone for considering themselves to still be a kid. Keep in mind, a lot of people still feel stunted because of COVID. A lot of us, myself included, I'm 26. I don't feel 26 sometimes. When the lockdown happened, I was 20, and that's where I feel like I stopped. I'm only now, like, every time I have to say my age, I have to stop and think, like, holy shit, I'm 26. Like, it's a lot to process. So, I can only imagine like how stressful it can be, especially to have student loans on top of it in college. So I feel really bad for Kingsman because the more I think about it, the more fucked the situation sounds. But hey, at the end of the day, I did hear the community really did back him and support him. So Kingsman, I'm happy for you, dude. I really am. I'm glad the internet like banded together and helped you out because that is what every content creator wants, is a community that is willing to support and help lift you out of whatever situation you're in. I don't know how far they went, but I know that from what I heard, it was more than what the tournament was willing to do.
Well, you a kid when I drafted you and we had our conversation, but that was definitely as a joke because people call me old. And I don't think it was bullying, because to be honest, we were just defending Zaza. You were on her case for an hour. She already said no, and you wouldn't take no for an answer, and so we told you.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
To drop it. Like it was self-inflicted that the conversation kept going because we didn't want this conversation to keep going. Before I play the clip that Kingsman left out and you hear the voice of reason from Entei, I want to say that no one on my team hates him. I don't hate him. And I said this multiple times. I think Kingsman is a good player. I respect his mentality and I fuck with him wanting to win. But I was not the reason he got booted. It was his own actions and behavior.
I think you not advocating for your own teammate was the reason why he got booted. Because Boston, for whatever reason, came to his own conclusion. And fine, whatever. But you said earlier you had a chance to advocate for him. You just didn't do it. I think, no, you are at fault for letting him get kicked out. You are at fault for how things played out. You are at fault for not even listening to someone who knew more about a game than you. So no, you... Yes, well, he is accountable for his own actions and behavior. It was your job as team captain to keep the peace and discuss things out. Instead, you dug your heels in on a dying hill and just cemented yourself to lose for whatever reason. God. How long have I been? I can't even look at it right now. But this video is 15 minutes. I told myself recording should be maybe about an hour and a half. I feel like I'm pushing beyond that because of how much I've had to pause and how many tangents I've gone on.
That other chatters and viewers, and ultimately Basm, did not like. I'm not asking for an apology. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, Kingsman understands the team perspective more, and sees that like I'm taking accountability. I'm not the perfect person. I could have navigated it better. Kingsman might still be in the tournament if I said something different, or Kingsman might be in the tournament if he did something different. This isn't black and white. Like, it's not about Marvel Rivals. It's not about Zaza not swapping, and it's not about you trying super hard and to win the money. It's about human relationships and just having more respect for the person you're demanding something out of and going about it a different way. Because it's not effective demanding something out of your teammates that you've just met consistently, even after they've told you no.
Kingsman, what I'm trying to get you to understand,
even
though,
in these scenarios,
is that, listen,
I am not.
Listen. It's not just Zaza that you're affecting in this. It's also affecting Cece and your entire team synergy because you're complaining about a comp that they clearly don't want to run.
We still synergized.
Fine.
We had a game.
Then you drop it.
Exactly.
Then you
exactly.
drop it.
Exactly. Bro. I didn't say anything on the last game. I didn't even say anything.
But
I just left the tournament. I played ranked.
You said enough, bro. Dog, listen, I'm trying to help you. You did say a lot, man. You said a lot. And like I said, I'm gonna be there for you because you getting kicked out the tournament is stupid. I get it. But you were overstepping. You were overstepping the entire time. So you can't get mad when all the overstepping that you have done for the past several days. Brother,
we've had one day of scrims after a draft. That was it.
Kingsman,
what do you mean several days?
Listen, aside
I want to know who the fuck this guy is that's talking. Is this Bassam? Dude, I'm 100% on Kingsman's side. I mean, if I played like a ranked game and my teammates were losing consistently, getting like maybe one win or two, that doesn't make up for the however many losses we've had in between. It doesn't. And for whatever reason, again, the only things that come into play, no one talks about whoever this is. They're not talking about the other teammates. They are only focused on Kingsman, Cece, and Zaza. These are 6-player teams. Who are the other 3 people involved that are affected? Who else is coming out with things? Because I feel like the only people that are saying anything is Cece and Zaza, and whatever community members that are upset about hearing him discuss how they should play. Which means there's about 3 groups that are going against Kingsman, and you're only going to look at it like, well, it's your fault. Like, really? I don't like I don't like being negative because I feel like the people that are gonna watch this and like my own community are gonna be like, Ghost, why are you so mean? It's like, because there are ways to go about doing these things. You take everything in stride, you listen to every side. Yes, Kingsman to get booted, but you could have given him a warning. At no point did you give him a warning. You booted him because he was, what did they say? Being overstepping? How was that going against the rules? It just said no personal attacks or harassment. Overstepping was not one of the rules. He did say in his player card that he would in-game lead to help win. So everyone had a layout of how things were going to go. If you didn't want that, then don't add him to the roster. Oh, God. Okay, let's keep going.
From what rumors may told you, I had known from like because I was in everybody's chat. I'm a viewer. You were crashing out about the team from the moment stuff happened. You were crashing out about stuff from the moment you got drafted. All right?
What?
I'm trying to help you out. You were overstepping. You were overstepping more than you realize, bro.
Okay, man. Listen, I just wanted a positive tourney experience, and it's clear that that's not allowed with competitive integrity. So.
Shit, was that NT? I wanted to see who that was. I don't know who NT is. I also don't know what this is.
The more you stay home, the less
No, it's a fucking ad.
you want to leave. And
I was
the
like,
more
wait,
you
what is this
stay,
video? No, it's
the
an ad.
heavier everything feels.
Okay. Oh my God. No, so I'm just gonna go here for a frame.
In the team, yes, I finally told him.
I'm just gonna stay here for a frame. I don't. So I get that at the end of the day, this was someone hosting a tournament, and that's entirely fine. I'm also curious to know how much planning went into the staging of this tournament. When I say staging, I'm not saying that the games were rigged or anything. When I say staging, I mean like how much planning went into how do we get people to register? How do we do this? How do we do that? Like how much time went into the planning phase of all of this versus the time frame of the tournament? Like, did we do this months in advance? Did we do this weeks? Do we do this like a year before? Like, did we do anything? Or was this just like, hey, really quick, open roster, anyone can join. Whoever comes in comes in. We'll sift through applications and then we'll go from there. And the tournament will be in like less than a week. If that was the case, then I feel like you really should plan out your tournaments a little bit more. Now, again, I'll use Rim because I loved the tournament she held recently. That was, I think, a week in advance she gave. And it was just as simple as like, you know, register, whatever. We'll play games and we'll kind of move up the brackets. And that was an easy one to go through. It was a small community thing, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I lost. That's fine. No one's at fault other than myself because I didn't have the skills to do anything. But I also didn't pregame and talk a bunch of trash. I was 100% there to have fun. And this was before the events that happened in this video, before they started hitting like the current events, because when I played Rim's tournament, it was honestly just for fun. I didn't have goals to win. I had the goal, and I'm being very serious, I had the goal to at least make it to the second bracket. That was it. I didn't get there, unfortunately, but I had fun. I was there to have fun and play with other people. As I will say myself, I personally joined to fill a spot in the roster because I wanted to do that to have fun. And I did. I didn't win, unfortunately, but I did that. And the way Rim went about organizing and setting this up was amazing. Yes, there were some hiccups, but what tournament doesn't have slight hiccups? We had fun nonetheless, and I enjoyed it. That was a week, and there were only about, I think, 12 of us that played, which is fine. You had, if each team has 6, and there are about 6 teams from what I remember. I'm also guessing a whole lot. I think there were 6 teams. No, there were more than that. I think there were 8 teams. So you have 6 times 8. I'm not good at math, but that was about 48. So you had about 48 people to manage. I feel like that would have taken longer than just a week or two. It would have taken at least a couple months. And if that's the case, then I feel like you should have done a better job at planning and organizing. Because this really feels like it was a short notice kind of event. And again, I don't know any of the actual details. I'm coming into this blind. But if it is just short notice, like we only have like a week or two to set up, or a week because of how fast the teams came together for one scrim match and then actually competing, I feel like you really should have thought all this out before getting to this point. And then you should have also, as a host, assigned team captains based on either merit or, people that wanted to be team leaders, and then let them pick from roster or pick from a list of other competitors that they can, recruit onto their team. And then they could have gone over in their own time. It's like how we're going to work, how things can, happen going forward, who works well with who, what players work in what situations, and go from there. I don't think other than the scrim matches, there was any planning on Cece's team. I don't think other than Bassam hosting the event, there was any real planning that went into it. Now, granted, yes, I am talking with a whole lot of unknowns as a small creator about big-ish creators. I say big-ish because I never heard of Cece until now, or Kingsman, or even Bossum. Heard of Puffer though. Puffer's fucking chill as fuck, dude. But I don't fucking know. I really feel like this was all poorly planned out, and it didn't work out well. This just was not. Even the recap from her point of view got me more and more frustrated and pushed me more to be, Team Kingsman. Even though I already was, it was just like, oh my god, I want to be as far away as possible from this person over here. But yeah, this is I will say the one positive that came out of all this is the community really did band with Kingsman and supported him, which, hey man, I'm happy for you. I'm glad. I'm sorry you were part of this team with this leadership and got kicked and was just beaten over and over again by the sounds of it. I say beaten metaphorically because obviously I hope no one got physical. But Kingsman, I hope you're doing good, bud, man. I hope you're doing great. I'm glad that the Marvel Rivals community at least has the respect for you to support you when you need it. And by the sounds of what I've heard, I'm glad that they did more than just sit there. I'm glad they did go into your channel and support you. So I hope you're good. I hope you get a lot of sponsorships, man. I hope college goes great. And I hope in the future, if you do play tournaments, I personally don't see anything wrong with how you handle things. I mean, you laid everything out. You said you were in-game lead. You are a top player. If I was on your team and I was team captain and you told me, hey, fucking play Daredevil, I'm going to play Daredevil. Do I know how to play him? No. But if you can tell me what to do, that's how a team should go, is take information and process it and then kind of go from there. But, Jesus. Damn. I went off the rails there for a bit. But yeah, that was essentially my reaction, guys. I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you so much for tuning in, checking me out. I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your week. Be safe and well. Make sure to drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest, eat plenty of food. I know a lot of my own community neglects this sometimes, so please make sure to get some food, get some rest, drink water, and I will see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye.